Okay, um, so today we'll actually be talking about the DOM. DOM stands for Document Object Model. So remember, I told you that I believe you guys can hear me, right? Yeah. All right. Yes. So DOM stands for Document Object Model, and I told you guys that your web page actually is seen as a document. So when relating it with DOM, it's more like it's an interface, it's a programming interface for web documents. So since you just visualize this as a kind of tree. So when you look at this page like this now, this is more like you have your HTML. Inside your HTML, you now have the header tag. Okay, you have the body. So the HTML followed by the body. Then inside the body now, you now have the header. Let me just bring this so that we can actually get how this works. So this is the page that we're working on. So inside here now, you have your HTML. You now have this body. Now inside the body, you now have a branch of the body, which is the nav. Now have another branch, which is the main. Now inside the nav, you now have a div. Then you just have kind of different branches. Now inside the branches, let's say this div that has a div flex, justify content, you now have a h2. Now this h2 now has a text inside it. So it's more like you're getting down to the fruits, branches, and then the content inside is kind of the fruit. So your DOM. Okay, so the DOM actually represents your page so that you can actually change things on it. That's why you're able to select stuff using documents.query selector or get elements by ID, query selector, or all those type of these things. So the DOM actually represents a page that programs can actually change the document structure, the style, the content. So it sees all of these things like nodes, it sees the nav like a node, then the div, so it sees all of them like nodes and objects. So because of the way the DOM is structured, you're able to manipulate things on it. So that is more like we've actually been doing it. The task I gave you guys to play with an array and then update content on the page. So all those things, they actually DOM manipulation. It's just that I'm trying to be explicit about it here now so that you know what we've been doing so far. So in this project that we're going to do a couple of projects. There's just mainly projects, yeah. So nothing ceremonial. So in this, what we're going to do now is this page now. Our first project now is called a color flipper. So I am going to have a set of colors that when I click on this button here, it changes the background of the color. So we're also going to use it to learn a couple of things. So let's listen and be blessed. All right. Okay, does anybody have any question before I actually jump into this? Any question now? Okay, so I already have my HTML and CSS set up. I don't want to bore you with that. I believe we can actually create something like this. Cannot let us step down. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to create a JS file. Can you guys hear me? Node is like a branch. Yeah, it's more like where connections are made. It's more like branches. Okay, so I'm creating my color.js. I'll just call it color.js because I want to use ones to kill many birds. All right. So let's go haywire. Um, okay, so first thing I'm going to do now is let me just go through the HTML. So I have my navbar. Yeah, I have my main. I have a container. I have display flex. I have justify content center because I actually want um my text to be in the center. I want my button to be in the center. So that those are the things I actually majorly need. So this container, this display flex, this H100 for me it is actually a height of 100 VH. Yes, so it's actually minimum height of 80 VH. So because of that, because of the header or the navbar, so I actually want yeah. So I actually wanted um, everything to fit into one page as we're looking at it. So that was why I gave 80 VH and then some space for the header. So let's get right to it. So the first thing I will be doing here is I need a set of colors. So I need an array of colors there around it. What colors? I cannot just bring out colors from somewhere. But I need colors that I will just play around with. So I will do a constant and I'm going to call this colors. I hope I've linked this. This is color.js. So colors is equals to, yeah, so this guy is active today. So it's an array of strings. Okay, so this is wonderful. All right. I don't have a green color. It's actually green. All right. So I have this set of colors. So they're actually in them. Okay. So are you trying to say I have a green like this? Okay. Copilot is always right. So green like this. Okay, so there's green. Let me remove one. It's actually more brilliant. Violet is always right. Yellow, red, blue, green, purple. I think this is all right. Yeah, so I think I don't know what. Yeah. So just remove one. Okay, okay. So interesting thing going on. So I've gotten my set of colors. Gotten my set of colors. So the next thing I want to do is I want to get my button. I want to select my button. So what do I do, guys? I want to select my button. What do I do? Yep. Okay. Yeah. ETN. I will be surprised. I will be surprised. This does like raising height. Okay, so I would be surprised that co-pilots will actually handle this for me. Let's just get going. Document that. So let me just do query select at once. If we know the difference. So I have a class of BTN here. Inside here, I'm just going to do a BTN. You actually have the either a dot or a since it has both ID. So the other thing I want to do is see how my page is structured. So I have this button and I also have this text. So I want,
Yeah, guys, I think network is acting up. So let's let's have a conversation. I think I'll go way back. Does anyone have any question yet? So we can just address that before it comes back. Okay, it's back.
sorry about the breaking transmission. All right, so all right. So we have to select, want to select the want to select this so that we'll be able to change this content every time we click the button. So I'm going, since it has a class of color, I will actually just do this. Let me just duplicate. Oops. So I want to change this color. I'm selecting, this class is color too, so I'm just going to put key. Yes. Yeah. Query selector will select all the classes I have both. If it's if that is if you're selecting, so if it's is the PTN that we are checking for it to actually select all the classes that are buttons. Yeah. Okay, so now I want to add a listener. I want to add a listener to my button. So I'm going to do a PTN dot. What kind of listener will I add? Okay. Okay, so click. Thank you so much. We're going way ahead of time. Okay. Say that this guy is actually going to steal the shine. I'm not going to allow it. All right. So so I have this. So let me just console log something here. Um, yes, I do have a container. All right, so let's see our page. Let's see. I'm going to inspect. I'm actually going to place this side by side. And so if I click this, so I have this here. So I've added an event listener to this guy. But that if I click it, this actually, yeah, this shows up. All right, so let's continue. So let me, so I'll do a document dot body style. And then I want the background color of the body. So that's why I'm targeting the body and then getting the style. Then I want the background color. So remember that when you're using JavaScript, when you want to do a background color or something that you normally use a dash, something that you use a dash, something that you do a dash, and then like background dash color or border dash radius, you actually have to use camel case instead to achieve that. So what will happen if I click this button now? Yeah, what will happen if I click this button? Okay. If I click the button on my page, what will happen now? This is my, yeah, it changed to red. Let's see. Yes. So this has changed to red. Yeah. So, so, um, so this is what happens when we're just going direct, we're just going to one color, but we actually need multiple colors. Then, okay, let's do another thing. So we need multiple colors. We need it because if I click again, it still keeps doing the red color, the red color, the red color. We actually want different colors. We want different colors. So let's look at something. Let's look at. So I want to create I want random. It should actually be picking random colors. So I want to do a function here. Get random numbers. As in, this guy wants to steal the day. Yes, random. Or you'll go for any type of one and they'll ask you to do it. Ask you, they'll ask you to do it without co-pilot. Okay. Okay, so now we want to get, not, I don't want color, I want random number. Okay, so inside here now, I'm just going to do a console.log. Going to do a maths.random. All right. Yes. So this we have something in JavaScript, the math object. So it does mathematics function. So now we are trying to get a random number. Now this random number, there's a way it actually works. So I'm going to call this function here. I'm going to just call get random number. So this, so you know why I'm putting this here? Does anybody know why I'm putting this here? And raise your hand if you know why I'm doing that there. Does anybody know why I'm calling this function here? You understand how this function, okay, Mubarak. Can you speak up?
Open a mess already said it, like you're calling the function.
Yeah. So if I click on my button, this random function is get random number is called. That's what basically happens. Yeah. All right. So let's go to the screen and see what happens. So I click this and I get a random number. If I click again, I get a different random number. So my number is changing. So math.random actually gives you a random number, but that random number now is kind of between, you see a random number between 0 and point, between 0.1 to 0.9, I think, yeah, 0.9, and then the brothers. So math.random, yeah, between 0 and 1, but 1 is exclusive, yeah, between 0 to 0.9. So, yes. So 1 is not included in this. So what we want to do now is, so we've gotten this. So something that I would like to do here is I would like to talk about flooring this, or yeah, let's just look at random at some maths this thing. So I'm doing a math and I kind of want to get it. So math dot round. What happens when you have math round? happiness. Okay, so what does round do? Let's click. Gives you 1. Let's click. Gives you 0, 1 and 0. So it rounds it to the nearest decimal. Okay, so we have another one. So okay, so this is what I would like. But to be referring this to. Yes. So I want. Okay, let's do it this way. I want us to see the number, and then we also know what it is. What it is rounding. What it is bringing out. So let's say calls my number. Equals to, let me just bring this guy out. Okay. Then I just do number here. Just doing my number. Okay. So here now, I'll just do a random number. Yeah. So this one we not touch it. Okay. So the random number is, this should actually be done since I did this. Random number is my number. Here. Okay. So I need to just do another. Mind I'm concatenating and concatenating everything. Okay, so the random number is this, and then the rounded number is this. So let's see what it gives us. Okay, so let's click again. So this is the rounded number, and I didn't do this well. I didn't give a space after this. So just work now. I like stress. What's it? Okay. Whichever way works, whichever way works, whatever helps to sleep at night. Okay. So I click, and then I have this. So I have a 0.6, and if you round it up, it gives you 1. I click again, 0.44 is less than 5, round up, it gives you 0. So that's what happens with maths.round. So there is another one called seal. Now returns the smallest integer greater or equals to its numeric argument. So maths.seal. So let's click. So we have 0. We have 0.01. So it just rounds this thing to 1. I don't think it even have a 0. So it always increases it to 1. Okay, there is a different one. It just makes it a kind of a whole number. So there's math.floor. Okay, so Yeah. So what this one rounds, it rounds off. This is 0. Yeah. So it rounds off. Doesn't consider that it's greater than 5 or I mean, yeah, it is greater than 0.5. As it is, does not check that this is up to 5. It just rounds it off to, if it's as it's 0 here, yeah, the opposite of C, yeah, just brings it to 0. It just rounds it off to 0. So what we want to do now is this is fine. This is fine. So let me just remove, I'll return this to how it was before. But I want to incorporate, our distance. Allow my line of thoughts to go today. I have a whole lot to do. Okay, so um so what we want to do now is we want to I want to bring this back. We want to bring our array now. Just so we want to bring our array here. This is our array, this is colors. We want to multiply it by the length. So let's see. Let's just go with a random number first. So if I do 10, okay, so let's just look at this and see what we get. Okay, so this is 0.1. Okay, this gives us a 1. This gives us a 1. Okay, so it picks. So what it does is it basically picks this number. It's the round off. So it takes this number after the decimal point. That's what happens here. Here. So the thing is, even if we click, we continue clicking, we will never get. We'll never get a 10. So if you actually want to select numbers, yeah. Yes, if we want to select the 10 is actually exclusive because that's the way max.random works. So this number times this number. So whichever number you're adding here is actually going to exclude it. So if you want it to actually include 10, that means you have to make this 11. So, but so far as it's 10, it will exclude it. So having this in mind now, what we want to do is we want to take the length of this our colors. So we want it to look over our colors. So if we have a 0, the background color should actually be 0 and it should be yellow. If we have a red, it should be this. So our colors of length. Okay. So let me wrap this. Now we'll put extra vertical braces. Okay. So we have this now. Let's see what we get. So we have 4. Okay. So it's actually trying to include 0 in the distance. So how many items we have here? Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9. So 9 is exclusive. Yeah, Tulu.
Sorry, it was a mistake, sir.
All right. Okay. So contrary to what we're thinking, this is a rounded number. Instead of picking this, it's actually excluding. Excluding is not picking this. We are flooring, but it's not. Let's say another one. It's 5. 5 gives a 4. 1. 3. Okay, so I think this thing has a role to play. The number in front of it has a role to play. So as this is not up to okay. Okay. Yeah, so as this is greater than 5. So as it's greater than 5, speaking this is less than 5. It's reducing 5 to 4. And 4, this is less than 5. It's reducing this. It's up to 5. Up to 5, so it picks this. So it has this number here has a role to kind of play in choosing this strange. Right. So what I want to do is I want to okay. I actually don't want us to dwell a lot on this because I have like 2 other projects aside this. So let's just try and understand this. So this when we are flooring, I think it checks through these numbers, checks here it rounds up to the decimal point. But if you're looking at this now, notice that this number here, since this number is less than 5, this reduces. It's actually a strange phenomenon. My sense of maths is not speaking this well. But from what I am seeing here, this is this 1 is not when you round up, yeah, it's supposed to return 5. Yes. But because this number here is not up to 5, it kind of reduces this to 4. Checks this one, the same thing. This is not up to 5, it reduces this number. Comes to this one, this number here is greater than 5, it takes this number, takes the number as it is, comes here, this 2 is not up to 5, it reduces this one. Same thing here. This one is up to 5, so it just picks this. It's actually just one strange phenomenon. And we can actually look into it. But let's just, it's just giving us a random number which is rounded up. And it's it's considering some things before rounding it up. Very strange behavior. So we're trying to get numbers between 0 and 8. So that's why it's kind of rounding it like this. 0 and 8. Okay. Probably didn't do justice to that. So what we want to do here now is we want to do a, this is what we want. We've been able to get the floor. So this is what we want to return. So return actually just brings what you. So that random number, when we get that random number, we want to return it. And it's actually going to be in this get random number function, as in we're going to use it when we click on this so that we're able to change this. All right, so let me remove this present, and I will bring this one. So we'll do const random number is get random number. So this is our random number now. So inside that random number, we now want to do a colors. And I want to pass in the random number. So I don't know if we get what is happening here. So when we get this random number from here, and then it is stored in this random number. So arrays actually have index. So if we have an index of 0, this yellow comes up. If we have an index of red, so of 1, red comes up, and so on and so forth. So that's what actually happens here. Okay, so let's see how this plays out. I should have left that listing here. So this is red, this is yellow, this is black, this is this. So I should actually I think I should have left that I've left this. Come in. I just need this. Let me bring back this and my control Y. Okay. So when I click here, so let's see. Random number is what? 2. If we check, so this is up to 6. So it is able to pick this particular one. So let's see. 0, 1, 2. Do we understand? Do we get this? Okay. So if I click on another number, this is 5. I need to go and study math again. I'm not understanding. This is actually 6, and I'm thinking 6 would have been selected. Okay. Okay, 0.52 times 9. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Victor, for this. Okay. Thanks, Victor, for that. Okay, so this is what happens actually. So with our flow, I'll just comment this so that we just see sense of maths. Those that don't like maths, see what is doing to you. Okay, so say for instance, now as you get a number 0.61. So when you multiply this by the length, which is 9. So thank you for that. Yeah. Thank you for that. I did not even go there. It's actually the so this is what happens. So when you multiply this, it gives you this number. So when you do a floor, it rounds up and gives you the nearest is that hold on in the nearest integer whole number. So that's what happens. So Obum, you understand this now? Yeah, so yes, it doesn't consider rounding it up, just bits. So that means let's check. Yes, it picks the highest integer before it. Okay. I'll not those terminologies anymore, please. All right, so since we kind of understand what is happening here. So when it does that, you're able to get this random. Okay, you're able to get this able to get the colors, a particular index where this works. So the other thing that we want to do now is we want so that the color, so as we change this, this also changes too. So what we'll do is we're going to do a, yeah. Sorry. Okay, so let's get back to it. So I have, so here now I'll do a colors. So we want the text content, yes. So you want to change the text content, and then you want it to have, you want to get, you want it to have this color. So if I click on it, if it's yellow, it should actually be a yellow. Strange people that we have. Want to dwell in the world of numbers. Okay. So this is orange color. This is green color. This is blue color. This is black color, lost away in the crowd. This is brown. Yes, people should go and play with it. Thank you. I'm not going to do that one here for you. So that's what happens. So do we understand how this works now? We understand how this works. I think I've done my first, I have a 3-point agenda. So do we get this now? All right, all right. So that's the first project. I want us to go to this one. Gives you get the random number here. You get the random number here. You store it inside this random number. Now this random number is passed inside here because colors is an array from 0 to, since there are 9 elements here, from 0 to 8. So this number keeps changing between 0 to 8. So if it is 0, the background color changes to this. And then the text content is also the same thing as that random number. So that's what happens here. So it's just switching between all those, between the indexes. So do we understand this? So the next one I want to do a form. Let my form be the last one. So I want to do a counter.html. So I'm just going to pull up. I'm not going to bore you guys with. I'm going to bore you with how I came up with the HTML and CSS. So yes, let me add the CSS now. So even the project that you guys are actually working on, that is DOM manipulation. The one I said you guys should output your students, your team members. Yeah. By the way, nice work, Novara. That's a good one. It actually makes the pictures not to be stretchy and all of that. Okay, so let's open this counter.html with live server. All right. So I have 3 buttons here. Yeah. I have increase, I have decrease, I have a reset. Yeah, so this is not actually stopwatch, right? Stop. This is you just be increasing it one after the other, and then you can actually reset it. Okay, yes. I capture the max borrow. Yeah, it will just keep counting. No, but you have to click the button, or it will not count on its own. Counter.js. But you can actually go and work that out. That's an interesting one. Okay, so my dear people on the internet, so let's start out. So what do I need to close? Closing this, closing this. Follow the CSS. So what do I have here? So I have a H1 with a span, and the span has an ID of value. I have my button container. Yep. Do that. CSS counter.css. Yep. Nice one. I like it boost energy. Like people have finished recovery. Yep. All right. Um, so we have this. We have three buttons. There's a decrease, there's a reset, there's an increase. Okay, so inside, I've linked my counter.js, I have linked my counter.css. Okay, so I don't need this. What I need is my counter.js. So first things first. First things first. We want to set our count by default. This is our count. We want to get this. We want to set our count to 0. Let's just do a count. Let's our count equals to 0. It's not a count on the DOM. It's not a count in your in what you're seeing. It's not a count in your HTML. So we want to set our own count. So where we are starting from 0 to count. Right? That's what it's actually. So if you're even switching it, what's what is different? So if you're yes, so if you actually thank you so much. Okay, so if you're switching it, if you're switching between if you're trying to increase, you're trying so if you're trying to switch, if you're trying to increase or decrement it, you actually start from 0. It's going negative or positive, yeah. So what we'll do here is we're going to get our buttons. So console. So let's do a const button. So I'm just going to do a buttons btns buttons equals to we're selecting all the buttons. So query selector of documents dot query selector of dot btn. Now wait, let's console.log this in. So console.log. Right, let's see what our problem was. Okay. So let's resize this guy. Specs. So we have node lists. Yes. This is a node. This is a node. This is a node. So when you do a query selector all, it checks the classes. Look at we are saying get the classes I have .btn. So when you come here, you see we have the first button, it has a btn. Check the second one, it has a btn, and then this one. So it stores it inside an array. So when you do a query selector all, it stores it in an array, btns. So when we console logged it, this is what we are getting. So we have a decrease button, a reset button, and an increase button. So do we understand what is happening here? Let me just, out of curiosity, what if this button is somewhere else? We have a different button somewhere else. Okay. So he actually picks this up. So merit. Yeah. I don't want to store them separately. That's plenty of work. Thank you for thinking outside the box. Let me always think outside the box. Yeah. By the way, nice summary, Mubarak. Okay. So here, so we've been able to pick this up. So inside here now, we are now thinking of we now want to get the value now. No. We'll do different. We are going to check it for different functions, not the same function. Now there's decrease, there's reset, there's increase. So just think about it. Okay. So so what we want to do now is we want to get the value. We want to get this. These guys are thinking, oh, okay, it's nice, yes. So so we have an idea of value here. So let's just do a const my value is equals to a document query selector dot value. Yeah, so let's see, let's console log value. So value here is okay, it's not a class, sorry, it's an ID. This should be an hash instead. Okay. Okay, so wow, that's wonderful. Somebody should ask me how this came up. Okay. So we're supposed to get this 0. We're supposed to pick this 0. But when you're selecting, when you select that ID, it actually gives you a whole lot of stuff here. So what we want to do now is there is something called, okay, let's see this now. Dots inner HTML. So let's go back. Let's go back so that we get what is happening. So when you're selecting something on the DOM, now this gives you a whole lot of things. So you can actually access this. This is more like objects key kind of thing. So this is an object. So remember we said document object model. So this is an object that has different things, different things. So you have inner HTML here, inner text contents. Let's see, do we have a target? Yeah. So there's text contents here. So there's a whole lot of things that just this thing has. So when you just do a document dot get elements, when you pick it, it just throws out all these things. That's why most times we now have to do a dot inner HTML or dot text contents, because if you just give it open-ended like that, it throws away. It just gives you everything that you can actually achieve. All right. So Tolu, did you get that? And every other person. Yeah. All right. So now we've gotten that. We're just going to leave it like as query selector like that. So I want to look over my buttons. Yes. I want to look over my buttons. So this guy is actually reading my mind. So I'm using a for each for those people that are thinking, this guy is. So this is a buttons dot for each. So I'm looking over each of my buttons. So I'm just going to console log ETN. Why do I have this? I'm supposed to have something here. Okay. So now this is what it gives us. So we have a button. Yeah, we have a button decrease, a button reset, a button increase. So which is these three buttons? They are console logged and they are showing up. Do we understand this? So when you're looping, it prints the first one, goes again, prints the second one, like that. Just brings all of them out. Okay. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is to add an event listener to this button. So each button now we have a btn dot add event listener. So we need to know where we are today. Barak was that button. So each of these buttons now we are looping over them. So we are looping over the button. So for each button, so the way for each box is buttons, that is the array dot for each, and then a single button. This is a single button. So that single button dot add event listener. What are we adding? What event listener are we adding here? Yes. Okay, so we're adding a click listener because we want to click. Yes, click. When you click, so this add event listener takes two things. It takes a function. So remember ES6 and ES5. So if we're using ES5, we'll be using the function keyword. We're using ES6. We're using ES6, we'll just be using the arrow function. So you can use this interchangeably. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever makes you sleep well at night, please use that. Still works. It's not magic. All right. Yes, my dear people on the internet. All right. Today is a good day. So we want to get the class of the button now. So we want to do a constant. So I know this Copilot has everything here. just keep the sleep for now. So const button class is equals to, okay, so so we want to pass an event inside here actually. So that event dot target. Let's see if this works. I mean, also does not class. So if I click on it, I actually want to see if I can get that particular button that I click on. So for information too, I don't sleep in the night. Thank you. Okay, so if I click on this, so you see, so when I click on a particular target, when I click on a particular target, I am able to get that. So target is like, what are you targeting? You're passing an event. Yes. So that event now, it checks for. So this is like, it's checking for what are you actually going to click on? What are you clicking on? So that particular element that you're clicking on, console.logit. So because this is where it's actually happening. Well, is that's when you're using object or what? So it's yes, it just picks that particular. Yes, it does. Yes, it's this. It does this. So if I click on this again, it just keeps bringing it out because this is what I am clicking on. So do we understand that? So event, you're passing an event. Yes, an event that is happening. So is gets this. So you need to add a target so that it knows the particular entity that you're clicking on. Yes. Okay, so let's continue. Let's go back. Ah, it understands that E is event too. The first thing that it picks here is E. You can add another thing. It still shall knows that is E that you want to click. E. I can do abracadabra. Ah, I also have a mind of my own. That's what to tell you. Thank you. You cannot engineer me completely. Okay. Okay, so I want the class list here. Okay, so let's see. Let's see if this works. Okay. So I think they just do the same thing because current targets. So let me just change this to current targets. Let's see. So both of them, they are the same thing. So current targets, they are the same thing. It's just English from current target returns. Let's see. Let's see. Still the same thing. These targets or current targets, they're the same thing. You can use targets here. And then this class list is, let's see. Oh, by the way, let's know how this is even working itself. Console.log the event first. So that don't get confused. So if I click here, I'm trying to console okay, so this is what happens. So if you're passing an event An event has all of this. Still an object, by the way. Now, if you check for targets, so this is target. So you're doing event.target, which is an array. No, which just gives you that listing, yeah. So event gives you a whole lot of things. So you see targets here. So let's check. Do we have current targets? There is, yeah. So it's just verbiage somewhere. Yeah. So that's how I got it. So if you're thinking about how I got the target, so there's a target this in here, which just specifies that, oh, this is the particular entity that I am working on. All right. So my dear people on the internet, so I've gotten this. And so I've gotten my button class, which is an array. So I am now going to do a check. I'm now going to do a check. Yes, okay, so sorry, the class list now. So the class list, yeah, thank you for that, Nat. Sure, thank you. So let's just console.log BTN class. So BTN class, take this and cherish this thing. The next one, next week we are looking at APIs. Thank you. Let's be winding down. So when I click this, so you see we have this. We have a class of BTN, we have a class of increase, and then we now have the value. Okay, the value is just a combination of both of them. So it just gets the class list for, like, it's an array of the classes inside it. So that's what class list does for you. Get that? Yes. So come with your what will you be welcoming for the API class? Okay, yeah, it's an array of classes. Very interesting. So this is what we get here. So I could actually change that to this. But yeah, so you get the check now. So I'm just going to do a conditional statement now. I'm going to do an if. And I'm going to check my button class, BTN class. So yes. So if the button class what contains so if it contains, let's confirm, what do we have? We have decrease, yes. So if we have a decrease, okay. So if we have a decrease, if the class list contains decrease, then we want to do count, want to reduce our count, which is originally 0. Then let's just, we are going to console log this. So then we want to console.log counts. Is anybody lost? Are you lost in the crowd? Okay, so nobody's lost in the crowd. So if I click here, I have a -1. I click again, I have a -2. And I keep going, like a rolling stone. Yeah. Okay, so this happens. So I'm able to decrement. I'm able to decrease that. Barak, please, I am looking for that. Can you send it to me? So here now. So I want the DOM to actually be updated with this. So I'm going to do a value. Remember, we have this value we picked here. And then remember that we said we can actually access when we console log this, we were able to get text content and then inner HTML. Trust me, I can be a clown. Thank you. Okay, so value text content is equals to count. So you're replacing what is on the DOM. You're replacing this value with the count. So let's see how this goes. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So do we understand how that happens? Do you understand how this happens? All right, all right. So we're done for the first one. So we can now do, you can still do an if statement, or you can just do an else if. Remember, else if takes a condition too. So this also checks if the button class contains an increase, then let's go. So let's increment it. So you see where all these small bits, all these things that we're learning in bits. Think outside the box. Thank you. I want to use an if statement. I don't want to scatter my line of thoughts. I don't want to dwell so much on this. So you can actually go and try that, and then paste your solution for us. We'll learn. Okay. Okay, so this is the else if, and then I want to do an else, so which means we are going to reset count to 0. Okay, so okay. All right, I know my spelling there. So counts here. So we're resetting this to 0. So let's see how this works. So we're increasing 1, we are decreasing. I want to reset. This goes back to 0. So, my dear people on the internet, do we understand this? Do we understand what we did? Okay, so interesting. Yes. So this is how this works. So this is actually outside here. Yeah, so we can actually close up a, most times you don't need to leave console.log. So if you're making, if you're creating, if you're pushing something to GitHub, you're working on a group, you don't leave console.log. It's not nice. Yeah, you can leave if you do a return. Return does not print out. Yeah. All right. So the last one, the last project that we'll be dealing with today, let's look at going to work on a form.html. We are going to do validation. You're not excited. Not like working on projects. You want to be learning it. You want to be learning it one by one. So let me just pull up my Bugatti. So okay, so yes. So this form. So yes, so as I'm putting all of this, just know that it's actually getting marriage that can work. Oh, okay. So I remember this is with respect to the task. Yes. Okay, so I've got to okay. Yeah, but you're alerting something now when you click on the button. Well, I think if you still work, if you still check maybe the class lists and do the target still, it should work. Still perform the same. It should work. It should work. Yeah, you actually I have to add an event listener to the button. So you loop over the button, add an event listener to that particular button. Yes. So let's do we need our form.css. Okay, so I have a very wonky form. We'll come up with something very, I don't know what I'm speaking this morning. Maybe I'm just um okay. So this is sorry, let me close all of this. Counter is finished. Don't get confused. Paris, what's that? Okay, so form.css. Okay. Um, a moment. Okay, so let's Yeah, I've added my CSS. Let me open this up. Practice open live server. Okay, so wow. On the CSS, I want to change something in the HTML. Maybe I'll be given the wrong one. Choose your right language. Okay, so uh, okay, so I want to, have I linked this well? So let me see, form.js. I don't have a form.js yet. Okay, so what are the things I actually want in my form now? So let's look at it. This is my form.html. Removing this guy now. So I have my form box. I have my form. I have my label and my inputs. This has an ID of username. This has an ID of user age. This has a select with different values. Now look at what happens. Option here, your option has values. So these are the values that will actually be submitted. And then we have radio for choose your favorite language. Yes. And we now have an input type of submit, which has a value of submit. Yeah. So let's play around with this. We need this tools. I push this to it more, guys. Okay, so let's start out. So the first thing I want to do is we want to get the form. Once form equals to query selector. So here now, remember we have an ID of name form. So I'm just going to use name form there. Why I have such a wonderful name, but it is what it is. So query selector name. I hope everybody's following. Yeah, understanding what I'm doing. So I have a name input. So this is my name input. So it's taking the full name of the person. So it has an ID of username. So I'm going to do an ID of username instead of name. Okay. So the next one is I want to get the age. So fonts, age inputs. Yes. Name form is okay, an ID. Thank you for that. And just down with your cup of coffee and be watching my screen. Thank you so much. Yeah, KDL. Okay.
So
Okay, so let me check. Let me confirm. This is user age. So you need to select everything that you want to get out. an ID. Then I want the cars for the select info. Okay. Okay, thank you. Mhm. Okay, so I can actually be um it's not entirely sure. So the next thing that we need to do now is the next thing to do now is I want to get okay, so my line of thoughts come back. So I want to get the cars now. So this select has an ID of cars. So when you select one of them, any place that does not have that, that is void of that. Okay. So I want to get the car, so I'm going to do a const my car equals is until task will now drop. So document query selector. So my car, so his cars is actually so there's an ID of cars. So I'm just going to do cars. Yes. Okay. So I'm trying to get all these inputs and don't go. So I'm trying to get this and then this one. So this is cars, the car, and then this is yeah, for the radio button, I will get it in a different way. So I want to add an event listener to my form. I'm calling my form dot add event listener and submit. Press it. So here now we are still passing an event here, but this event is so that we will just prevent defaults. So if we submit, it doesn't go haywire. Yes. Yes. Oh, I've not even selected that one. So it doesn't reload, it just stays there. So that's what prevent defaults does. So now my radio button. So the radio button theme. There's a reason I'm not putting it outside here. So I'm just doing it inside here. I'm doing a const radio inputs document query selector. They're checking the inputs that is checked. So whichever of the inputs, so is it cars that we're looking for? markers. This is favorite language. So their names now, we are picking their names. So these names, so see, query document of query selector, we are looking for the inputs that the name is equals to favorite language. And then it has to be checked because it is radio button. So this is an addition to just check this. So let's just console log. Okay. So let me just console log favorite language. I'm going to come back for these ones. Let's see. So basically, what I even intend doing here is a little bit of validation, but time our spent. If I click on submit, see HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Do you understand this? Okay, so we are here now. We are saying when you click on submit, check for the radio inputs that has a name. Yes, it's showing what I checked, but has a name of favorite language. And it is checked. So checked means when you've selected it. So when you do that, I am now storing the value of that checked. This you check the form. See, each of them has their value. So for this first one that is HTML, it has its value. For this one that is CSS, it has its value. For this one that is JavaScript, has its value. And they all share something in common, favorite language. So that's why I am using it inside this function. I'm not doing it outside here. Inside this function now, I am checking now for the one that has favorite language and is checked, how to put console log that particular listing. Do you understand this? Thank you for your vote of confidence. Okay. So, yes, Dulu.
Yes, sir. So when you console.log them, why didn't it refresh and put in the new one that you checked? It still showed the previous one that you checked.
Yeah, we did not refresh the page. We did not, what we just did is just prevent defaults. So when this, you're actually supposed to reset this input. So it's more like you saying favorite language. Let me just do a let. Favorite language equals to empty string. Let me just confirm. Is equals to no. Let me just change it to no. I select this. So you're actually supposed to refresh the page after doing this. Yes, so you actually supposed to refresh, because what happens is that when we actually console log this, we don't refresh the page. So that's what is. So let me see. Windows issue. So let's see. Actually supposed to just do this work. Okay, so this, so oh sorry, form.html. So you're supposed to just refresh the page. Yeah. So when you select this, yeah, but see, sorry, I will get back to us on this. Stuff is when that happens, you're supposed to refresh, because if you don't refresh it, it will still maintain that same value. So the other thing to look at here is, so Dula, I'll get back to you on that. So we've gotten the value. So now I want to just do a kind of check so that somebody is not submitting an empty string for me. So let's say, for instance, we're going to do an if. So if name inputs dot value, so we didn't even console log this name input. So let's just console log name input. So name input is more like your this your input here. So if I click here now, I have number 9. Okay, you need to check. It's not checked to answer. Okay, so I get that. I get that. So this actually needs to be checked. Okay, so so now this is what happens. So when you click on this, this actually gives you this input. But what we want is what the value that is being typed inside here. So we need to do a dot value. So click, see. Do you understand how this came about? Okay, yeah, so we needed to add a dot value to it. So we want to now check. So if not name inputs dot value, and let's please enter your name. Let me just, because this guy is actually crashing if you don't select it. Okay, so let's just go again. I click on submit. And because my name field is empty here, it's now telling me, please enter your name. So that's more like a kind of check. You're checking the input fields. So see where not is being used. So this not here is saying if it is empty, if it does not have a value, if it does not have a value, just say please enter your name. Else, if so that would be more like if name.value is equals to empty string. Yeah, that works. So make it strongly light. You guys are like thinking outside the box. Okay, and then let's just do an else. Come in. Yeah, come as well. Okay, so here now, if I put a name, or I don't put a name actually, so just have this one, this entire name. So now that actually works. Probably if you also do a no, sorry. And I sold one of my legs. So okay, so it's different to empty string. Okay. So this should actually be, so this should be an empty string. We use not. I click inside the name. Right, shall we get the picture? Get what I'm trying to do here. I do this, and add an age. And hello, you're 12 years old. I'm 12 years old. So this is wonderful. So you can also do this. You can also still bring back. Let's bring back this guy. You can also combine this. You can use an and. So it now checks these two distances. Yeah. So let's see what it's outputs now. So we input this. We input both of them. I need to check this entire name and an age. So these two things have to be true for this not to show. So if I do one and do this, it now tells me please enter your age. Okay. If Nice. Okay. So let's see. So if favorite language, not favorite it is okay. So okay. So favorite language too. So, ladies and gentlemen, this few points of mine. This favorite language is a better way. Well, yeah, favorite is. There needs to be a better way of doing this. So if you do this, if you actually do this if, it will not give you a correct error message. It will not give you a correct error message because here now, you're only checking for if this or this. So if one of this is true, then what happens? So you need to kind of be more explicit when you're doing your check. So this is more like this is validation for forms. Because you actually get to work with forms and then you look at things like this. Anybody have a question? All right, guys. So yeah, you guys should. So I'm expecting to see the submissions from the last task I did. Let's play around it. Then yeah. So let's just keep learning. Let's just keep learning and keep practicing because you get better when you actually build stuff. So yes, so practicing is very, very important. Okay, so guys, let's meet on Slack. Let's talk about anything, any challenge that we're having. Yeah, let's keep building. So. Okay, while I return to Dubai and enjoy my flexing. Thank you. Thank you so much for thank you for all you do. Thank you for being happy and all of that. Thank you for learning. Thank you for being in my Niger Dubai. Yes. All right, see you guys. I can. Are you there?